discretion is advised.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another very special edition of the New to Wrestling podcast After Dark. Tonight, I am so excited. I'm smiling from ear to ear. My cheeks kind of hurt a little bit. I'm like really excited to introduce this incredible wrestler that we had the absolute privilege of seeing at the Mecca for a Jurassic celebration. And I just saw this wrestler, and Xavier and I were both like, holy shit, like we have to meet this person. Like, wow, like what an incredible wrestler, incredible presence. And our very first female wrestler on the show, could not be more flattered that this wrestler decided to join us. She is incredible. You know her, you love her. Actually, some of you, I will say, are shaking in your boots when you see her coming. Then I'm shaking in my boots as well, because out of pure excitement and joy, she's the harvester of sorrows, girl. It's Miss Sammi Chaos.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have you just announce me all the time.
Okay. I
You're just
can
gonna
agree.
introduce me.
That's the move, baby.
I would be delighted. Sammi Chaos, it is such an honor to have you here on the show. Our very first female wrestler could not be more full of joy that it's you,
Oh my
I'm
God,
very
I
happy.
love that. I love that. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
So the premise of our show is that I am new to wrestling, and Xavier is a lifelong fan. And I'm pointing this way because for me, he's that way, but he's whatever.
Over there.
But he's somewhere. And so I'm so excited to get to talk to you. We both are. And I would just love to know how you got into wrestling. Like, how does someone like Sammi Chaos end up in a wrestling ring?
That's such a good question. I'm still trying to figure that out. No, I mean, I also grew up watching wrestling. You know, me and my older brother used to watch all the time, and I grew up during the Attitude Era, so I'm probably dating myself. So it's
All right, same
oh
here.
no, we're old hags. You don't have to worry about us.
Oh, thank God, my people. Okay.
We're just like elder emos that grew up, so it's all
elder
good.
emos that grew up.
Yes,
we're here.
Thank God. Everyone I speak to is so much younger than me, so I'm just like, all right. But yeah, I always grew up watching, and I was like one of the only girls in school that used to watch wrestling. And then about five-ish years ago now, I got really drunk one night, and I just decided I was like tired of sitting at a desk job 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And I was like, let me see if I'm any good at, wrestling. And so now I wrestle and I sit at a desk 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. So we're trying to drop the Monday through Friday thing. But yeah, and that's the rest is history here.
Wow. And I love that because you have mentioned in other interviews that you have social anxiety, which same. I was listening to your Ringville interview, which shout out to KHS. I love that man.
Love him.
I was like, I need to send him like flowers or something, because the way I watch like all his interviews with wrestlers before we do ours.
Good.
What a sweetheart. I was like, you do so much work for me and you don't even know. But he will be getting a fruit basket soon.
Yes.
But I related to so much of what you were saying, because I am also a notorious car sitter. Like Xavier has my location, and where I park my car is not the address of my apartment. And I'll be sitting there and suddenly I'll get a text from him like, get out of the car. I'm like,
get inside.
Damn it. Like, all right, fine. But I related to so much of what you said. And I think it's so interesting though, because you also said like kind of to counteract the social anxiety, you just have to do it. So I think it's interesting you got into wrestling that way, where you're like, I just got to do it. Like, I just got to do it. I think that's so funny.
That's literally, yeah. And it sounds so stupid, like to say like you just have to do it, but that's all it is. Like I'm like, I will sit in my car for hours. Like there's something very wrong with me.
No, same. It's sinister. Like, but I just feels like funny. I'm contained. This is my ecosystem. Yes. Like I'm safe in here.
I'm outside, but I'm like not outside. So it's
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I so get that. I
hmm
also, when you said you were like, well, I've learned to get more comfortable, but I'm also like I'm never comfortable. And I was like,
ever,
ever.
ever.
I so get that. I also love though you said you should always be a little bit uncomfortable though, because like of, it lends itself to learning, to
Yes.
like kind of like sitting at the edge of discomfort for the sake of learning. And I could be
hmm
totally wrong, but after listening to you and watching your matches, I feel like you're the type of person that really, like, you really can be very cerebral about wrestling. Like you really want to learn and you will like kind of sit on that edge of discomfort to
Yeah,
like learn. Is that true?
100%. I'm constantly learning. I even said in that interview. I was like, I am constantly watching wrestling. Like,
Mm.
not me, not myself, but like I'm constantly watching like just old wrestling, a lot of old like Ring of Honor stuff, and just I try to soak in as much wrestling as possible, and I try to use it. Not everything pertains to like my character or my size or anything like that, but I try to soak in as much as possible. And what can I get from this and put it into my matches to make it, more interesting for everybody to watch, because it's like, okay, what is this, you know, big bitch going to do? Like, oh, well, she's gonna squash that, that other person. But it's like it's so much more than that, and it's a lot of psychology, and there's so much more that goes into wrestling that I ever knew. So it's like when
Hmm.
I started, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, not only is it physically challenging and holy shit, is it physically challenging, but also like emotional, mental. It's so much. I am
It-
so tired.
Yeah. Oh my God, I bet.
But no, it's a lot of fun learning. So, you know.
Is there a
Yeah.
like a wrestler that you like either go back to and watch a lot or like pull from that we wouldn't necessarily think that you not just like pull from as in copy but like take influence from
Yeah, yeah.
that we wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily guess based on like just the way that you are in the ring.
Yeah, I take a lot of the way I watch a lot of Kurt Angle now.
Love that guy.
It's oh my God. Especially a lot of Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio,
Mm,
because even
Mm.
though Kurt Angle is not like way bigger than Rey Mysterio is just so small
right.
that it's
Hmm.
just the dynamic is still there.
Hmm.
So I try not to watch, I mean, of course, I watch like Vader and Bam Bam and like the big guys, but it gets repetitious. So when I switch and like watch someone like Kurt Angle, I'm like, how can I integrate that into like how I move? Like even just the way I
Mm.
move or carry myself in the ring, it's you have to take it from everywhere. So I'm not gonna move like Rey Mysterio, unfortunately, but like,
Neither will I. It's very unfortunate.
listen.
Well, like he's like 50 something and still trucking. So like
He
nobody
built
moves like Rey
different.
Damn.
Mysterio. Like
Wild, wild.
I
Maybe
don't, I
Dominic
think,
Mysterio,
yeah,
but
yeah, maybe. I was gonna say, I think even sometimes Rey Mysterio is shocked how Rey Mysterio moves,
I agree.
which
yeah,
God bless. I would love to know what that's like. To be like, woohoo, like that's cool.
right.
Had had no idea I was
You know,
capable of that.
Love that.
yeah, he just goes. It's wild.
And since you mentioned Ring of Honor, is there like what is it about like early Ring of Honor that like really appeals to you? Because I've seen like a few Ring of Honor matches in our quest for education, and there is something so like that about it. Like I don't
Yes,
know if I have
it's
the words, but it's like that.
yeah,
Um
it's I love that it's like it's gritty. I think
yes.
that's for me that's the best term for it. It's just it's because if WWE is corporate, quote
Hmm.
Mm-hmm,
unquote, it's
mm-hmm.
like ROH is like corporate without the CEO being there. So it's like
Gotcha.
Mm,
it's just gritty, and it's everyone is just, doing whatever the fuck they want, but it's kind of like at a corporate level, but they're just
yeah.
beating the shit out of each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think
I
you'd
love
said too,
it.
like you love a fight. Like you love to just like
Yes,
get in the ring with somebody
yes,
who's like you're gonna duke it out.
yes. I just had a match with Gabby Forza last week it was, and she's small, but holy shit, like she's mighty, and we beat the shit out of each other. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like it's so twisted, but it's like that's what it is. I'm like, thank you for hitting me.
We had such a great like meat mash today. Thank you so much.
That's amazing. So
Thank you
good.
for throwing your body into my body. Like,
Amazing. That's kind of it's the name of the game though. I feel like you have to have
yeah,
that. Like you gotta have that like
Completely.
yes,
you gotta love it.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I like when
And
it looks like a fight.
yeah, and it certainly does. I mean, when we saw you, I was like, we gotta talk to
Because that
this
was like
woman.
a triple
Like, I was like, she's like, ugh,
because that was fun because it
love
was
to
like a
see it.
triple threat match. So there's like a whole there's like
Yes,
you do like what you do. You're like composing, you're there, but there's just more
right,
dynamic as far as like what offense they can try and do against you and that sort of stuff. It's
exactly.
always a good time.
Yes, yeah, and you have to make it make sense. So
Right.
hopefully,
Yeah, and I yeah. I think too, you brought up a good point previously in an interview also where you were saying like, which we talk about this a lot, and Xavier like really enlightened this to me, where it's like it's actually so important for like also the smaller wrestler to be a good sell because it
yes,
works for both of you. And like we talk about this a lot with like, for example, The Undertaker, where it's like he was so scary because everyone else was so scared of him. Like other
hmm
Right.
if everyone was like, okay, then like everyone
right,
else would feel that way.
Right.
But like
yeah,
so there is
hmm
that like kind of symbiotic relationship where it's like, yes, like I am the
yeah,
stature that I am, so I am inherently imposing, but if you act like I really broke your shit, like
right,
you also came back from me breaking your shit and I'm capable of that. And everyone
exactly.
wins.
Yeah, and a lot of people that I've come across don't, not that they don't see it that way, but they don't want to see it that way, maybe, where it's
Mm.
like I'm big, so I'm like not supposed to bump as much, right? So,
Mm.
but I'm so twisted. I love like getting my ass kicked. I'm like, yes, kick my ass, me down. Like, come on, it's a fight, and it makes me look so much stronger if like you're beating me down and I rise up and I end up kicking your ass. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, I wish they understood that like selling could even like get you in spots that you wouldn't even think imaginable. So it's a give and take. So you
Yeah.
know,
And I think
it's,
too, you had said like you at this point in your wrestling career, because you've been wrestling for, I think, is it 3 years now?
yeah, it's about 3.
About three. Like that you're getting more comfortable too with like dictating not maybe dictating is the wrong word, but like kind of going with what happens in the ring and like getting more comfortable with like the improvisational aspect of it. Is that like, because that to
hmm
me, the improv aspect of wrestling is always the thing that gags me. I'm like, I'm shocked that so much of this is like we're just kind of flowing with it. Like, so I'm always like mind blown
hmm
by
Yeah.
that aspect of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, if you have, one person that knows how to work, then it's like you guys can call two things and then make, an 8 to 10 minute match. And that's great. The triple threat match was just thrown into the match about 10 minutes before the show started.
Oh
I wasn't
wow.
even supposed to be there. Yeah. So,
Oh my
they
God.
someone had gotten sick. Yeah, someone got sick and they needed a third person, and I just happened to be there enjoying the show. And you're always supposed to have your gear. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
That's crazy.
yeah, Mr. Man.
We just talked about this with
Yeah.
the prospects. We had them on the show and they were like, "Yeah, you always travel
hmm
with your gear." And I was like, "That's so funny. I've never heard that." Like this is the first time I'm hearing
hmm
about it. So that is so interesting that like that happened too. Oh, God, I love that. You were saying the promoter came up to you 10 minutes before and asked if you had your gear.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I was here to enjoy the show, but I'm gonna enjoy it in the ring, I guess." So,
I love that. That is so cool.
yeah.
Um, I also wanted to talk about because we're talking about like storytelling and wrestling and stuff like that. You do intergender wrestling, so you wrestle men, women, of anyone, whoever, everyone in
Anyone.
between.
Hmm.
And you had said, and I thought this was so interesting that, with when you wrestle women, the storyline is pretty similar every time, where it's like
Yeah.
it's the David and Goliath. And
Hmm.
then when you wrestle men, because they're of like more similar stature to you, you can kind
Hmm.
of reverse it. Or I'm just wondering, like, because also you kind of like love to challenge yourself in learning that way, like, do you find like doing a different storyline that way, like, kind of like works your brain a little bit differently? Is it just kind of like a whole, like,
Oh.
because I know it's physically way different,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but like the storytelling aspect of it, I think is really interesting too.
Yeah, it definitely it I have to like flip my way of thinking because I'm so used to being the bigger one in the ring. So
Hmm.
when I'm in there with someone that's maybe my size or bigger, it's like, oh, like I'm Rey Mysterio today. Like I get to
Yeah.
like
Like work
I
up
get
to
to
someone.
yes, exactly. Like I get to sell. I get to make you look like, a huge monster, even though like I'm also a monster, but like a little smaller. So
Hmm.
it's like
You're a dainty monster.
right, exactly, like please. So
Love that.
but yeah, like when I wrestled Tyree Taylor at Focus Pro in Massachusetts, and he's a big dude, and I'm usually not the one getting manhandled, so to
Mm,
say. And I was
yeah.
like, oh shit, like tables have turned, and it's the crowd's turn to, have sympathy for me and like cheer me on, and instead of booing me.
Yeah, which is a nice
So
change of pace.
I know, like, oh my God, you like me. So it's yeah, it's a whole like turnaround.
I love
Oh,
that. Can I or were you going to say something,
no, go
Xavier? I'm
ahead.
sorry.
It's okay.
I was curious because you rest had this crazy amazing match with Brother Greatness, and
Yeah.
he also train you?
Yes.
What so
So
what wow, I love that. What was that like?
yeah, so he trained me before I went to the Fallout shelter in Brooklyn, where I officially started training.
Hmm.
So I used to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go drive to Queens from Jersey to meet him at a gym that had a ring, and
Oh my God.
he would train me for like a couple of hours before I had to go to my 9 to 5. And
Wow.
yeah, he got me ready for, actual wrestling training, and wrestling him was kind of like coming full circle. And I was like, holy shit, like, we're no longer half asleep, in
Hmm. Hmm.
Queens right now. And yeah, it was great. I loved wrestling him, and he gave me a lot of I don't want to say praise, but like props, so to say. Like, and I was like, oh my God, I don't take compliments very well. So I'm just like, oh my God, like, are you sure? Like it was okay? Because anytime you wrestle someone that trained you or one of your coaches, like it's just 10 times more nerve-wracking than anything else. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah, we
sure.
had a lot of fun. So
I
he
love
kicked my
that.
ass.
That's so crazy to wake up so early and do something so physical, like before your
Yes.
job. That's like
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah, they're like, Sammy, why are you tired? I'm like, don't worry about it.
You wouldn't believe me
I'd
if I
have to
told you, girl.
explain it.
Exactly.
You don't want to know what I'm getting up to in
It's a
the wee
long
hours.
story. Right. My
Speak
time.
speaking of like the intergender matches, the promos you've been doing recently with Brian Baum, because you guys have
Oh my
an event
God.
coming up, are nothing short of like amazing. They're so funny. This morning I sent one to to Kelsey because I was like, this is fabulous. Because we are in the talks of having him on the show also. Where did those like vignettes with Brian like come from? Like where did this idea come from? Because it's great. You just like show up behind him like the Grim Reaper and just like mess his day up. It's beautiful stuff.
So glad you guys are enjoying those.
Oh my God, can't help it. They're so good.
So Brian is one of my favorite people in the entire world. Right now we're frenemies and we're feuding. But yeah, we go back and forth, talking about ideas for shows. Yeah, right now we hate each other, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun going back and forth. We just come.
Awesome. What like so that event that you guys have coming, it's like it's a pride event, which I like me and Kelsey, we like I always describe our show as for like the gals and the gays.
The
So
girls and
like
the gays.
I don't know. It's just whenever I see like an event that is like a specifically a pride event that also mixes wrestling, I get so like, oh, like cool, like this is for me. You're like, just because
Yeah.
it's we're generally not the target, the target audience. Um, but if you
Yeah.
think about it, we are.
Of course.
Um,
Anybody is. Anybody's the
right,
target audience.
exactly.
So true.
But it's so like, what does it mean for you to like to be able to like wrestle on shows like that and like just kind of like show out? It's like, um, is that something you kind of think about, or is it just kind of like another show, as per
No,
usual?
it's definitely not just another show because it just means so much to everybody, who's on the show and everybody that's involved. And, I think it symbolizes so much for everybody. So, it's pretty much it's spitting in the face of a lot of certain promotions or, people that won't necessarily book the people that are on this show. And
Hmm.
it's a big like middle finger and we love
Well,
that.
Love that.
we do
Love a
love
big middle
Yeah.
finger.
that's that's the energy that we always try to emit. So
Yeah.
it's just, a big fuck you. And it's always a really fun, high energy show.
Love that.
So,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. So amazing. And that one where he's just walking down the street and he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
look who it is," and just starts beating your ass. So funny.
oh,
And like,
it's
that's like we say this all the time where it's like, no one will hit you harder than your best friend. Like you will
Yeah.
never
Oh
have
my gosh.
another match like the one you have with your friend. And so I just feel like
Exactly.
this
it's
Yeah.
it feels so turned. Like this
Yes.
feud.
oh, that's amazing.
Time we wrestle. Yeah.
Oh my God. I also want to talk about so the character of Sammi Chaos you had said is like you times 9,000, and it's like kind of getting to like live out like an exalted version of like high school you, which you're
Yes.
like I was emo, I was punk, I was like all of that stuff, which again the emo kids that grew up, safe space. And I think again it's so fascinating like as a person with social anxiety where it's like you are this like character who like again doesn't mind giving the big middle finger, will like talk your shit, is the harvester of sorrows. Like you have this like really almost like punchy energy where it's like I can talk my shit, I can do my shit and back it up and whatever. I just think it's like it's almost like does the character kind of let you like express yourself in a different way than like you normally feel comfortable, or like you've kind of just like learned how to embody that character? Does that make sense? I kind of lost myself.
Yeah. No. Like I just started saying words. I blacked out. I
Yeah,
don't
I was
know.
just like
Um,
so
yeah, no, it 100% makes sense. It's kind of both, because a lot of times, when I'm not Sammy Chaos, I'm just very subdued and I don't want to say docile because that's not the word. I'm not that. But if I'm not if I'm not around people that I don't know, I'm very like I'm quiet. I'm in the corner, like I'm just observing. But
Hmm.
I think once, Sammy Chaos steps through the curtain, like that all just goes out the window and it's like I get to be someone not completely different, but it's like it's almost like a mask where it's like, okay, safe space now. Like,
Hmm.
no one really knows that I'm just, the emo kid in the corner, like writing in my journal. Like, it's like so silly, but yeah, it's once you step through the curtain, it's like you're a completely different person. And it's like, okay, it's showtime now, and I get to like, stick the middle finger in children's faces, which is wild. You know.
Yeah. I saw your Instagram post where it was like somebody's kids called me an asshole. Where are your fucking parents?
Where's your keeper?
It was yes, they were sitting on their lap, which is insane. I was just like, oh my god.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Like
these little girls in the front row kept calling me an asshole, and I was like, what?
I was like, are
Like,
you
oh my
sure that's what you
god.
meant to say? That's
Oh
Oh no,
my
crazy.
god.
they seem sure of that. Like, kids
Also,
Oh
don't
my
pull
one
punches.
no, also one
god.
other honorable mention I simply must bring up from your Instagram is you captioned it, you were just like beating, I don't even remember whose match it was, but you were like really laying him out and it just said like, what's your favorite movie? This is mine.
That
Oh,
was Brian.
Oh, that was Brian. Oh my God, I forgot. I was like, I because the caption took me, so I was laughing so hard. I was like, that, what's your favorite movie? This one's mine.
This one's mine.
So funny. I love that. I also, because we're talking about like you can just like go out and you feel like you have this like wrestling persona like mask or whatever. Xavier and I talk about this a lot because I also have such bad social anxiety, but I'll dress like insane. Like I have like the crazy makeup, like huge, insane, weird coats and shoes and whatever. And I'm like, this is kind of like my mask, like when I go out, because people will, I'm sure you get this question a lot where it's like, how could you be like a performer and a wrestler if you're so socially anxious? And it's like, but
Yeah.
you get to like, but you get to tap into this like other part of you, and your gear is so incredible. Like, do you think that
Yeah.
also like your gear? Because I remember when I briefly met you, I was like, I just have to tell you, your jumpsuit was so incredible.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
was like, carry on with your life. I just had to say
Carry on.
it. And you also have like incredible makeup.
Thank
And like
you.
the jumpsuits and stuff. Like, do you feel like because you also kind of you send inspo pictures, I think, and then like people will like pull it together.
Yep.
I like, do you feel like that kind of lends itself like to like the putting on the mantle aspect of it?
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a whole ritual, like getting ready. So it's okay, my gear's on, okay, putting my makeup on, and it's like, I mean, like your makeup is fucking gorgeous. If your
Thank
makeup,
you.
looks off a certain day, I'm in a little bit of a mood.
Oh,
So it's
completely.
like if this eye turns out like different than the other eye, which has happened, and I go out looking insane, um, I'm aware of that the entire time I'm out there.
Yes,
So
I
it's
know
like,
exactly what you mean. It's like when my
yes, it's like,
eyeliner, when they're cousins, not sisters, even, I'm like,
oh
today
my
is a
God.
bad day.
Yeah. I'm like everybody knows, everyone's looking at me, cool.
And then
But
meanwhile, like you're like literally throwing girls like across the ring and whatever, and you're like, everyone knows my eyeshadow looks so stupid right now.
like,
That is
all they're gonna say is that my eyeshadow doesn't match. And it's like,
like flinging humans, but
yeah,
I
never mind all that.
oh, never mind all that. Oh my God, I so get that. And I love your gear. And I know you have that one you call it the Bam Bam look
Yes.
where it's like the flames and stuff. And you're an Asbury Park girl, right?
Yes.
Love that because we're Jersey
Oh.
girls. Xavier
yeah,
lives in Philly
Oh.
now, but we're Jersey girls.
and
So
yes, in
always
my
look
heart.
And you're
Xavier will always be a Jersey girl at heart. Oh, so then the Mecca was so close then, because from me it's like
so
20
close.
minutes. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy a show.
Mm.
And then they were like, this show's gonna enjoy you. I'm like,
Oh, that's why, like, I had no makeup on. Like, there was no time. I was like, "Oh, can you like push the match back so I have time to like look like a insane person?" They're like, "No." I'm like, Cool.
Okay, good. Great.
Right.
Glad I asked.
This is what you're getting, guys. Sorry. Like, no.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I oh no, I lost my question.
That's okay. I have one if you're good.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
curious because you mentioned earlier that you do like the 9 to 5 and you're wrestling on the weekends. And I, again, like, look, following you, like, you are booked and busy. And in
Yeah.
talking to like wrestlers, like, that grind is brutal. Like, is that something for
Yeah.
some wrestlers they like enjoy it? For some wrestlers, that's the worst part of their like what how do you handle that? Because that is nonstop and it's also very physically demanding. So how like and I imagine as you get busier, or as you get like, more popular, more out there, like
Mhm.
it's the running them both is going to be like crazy for a while. So like how are you doing this? Do you enjoy it?
He said, "Are you okay?"
This is actually an intervention mental health check.
Check on your friends, all right?
um, it's I love it to a degree, but I also love sleep. But I from when I was like super young, I wanted to be like a rock star. Like I said, rock star life. I want to be on a tour bus. I want to be touring. Like I want to
Mhm.
be on a stage in front of millions of people, even though like I sit in my car outside the grocery store. Um,
Hmm.
it's
Relatable.
right. So yeah, I fucking love it. It's everything I've always wanted, and I would totally understand like why people don't, enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, Monday mornings are rough, but
Yeah.
Monday mornings are rough, but that's what ibuprofen and the heating pad is for.
Amen.
And it's yeah, no, I fucking love it. I hope to just keep getting busier and to just keep being booked and busy and go to new places that, haven't heard of me yet. And, that's it. And to keep doing podcasts to get my name even more out there, all that fun
Yeah.
stuff. I fucking love it. I love it.
Love that. Is there like this is kind of like a jump, but is there like when you are like wrestling, you're going to a show, is there like a specific wrestler who like if you see their name on the card, you're like, oh yeah, like I get to be like I'm gonna be in the building with this person. I love to watch this person work, or I love to be in the locker room with them. Like, is there a specific wrestler that you see their name and you're like, word?
Listen, anytime I see a card and I know one person, I'm like, yes. I'm like, I'm gonna try really hard not to follow you around like a puppy, but
Yeah.
like, no, I've gotten to be in some like insane fucking locker rooms, but anytime I get to share a locker room with like Masha or
Mm.
my tag partner Caitlin Marie, who lives in North Carolina, like I anytime I see women that like I know and love, I'm like, yes, amazing. So
I love that. I also
mhm.
love the tag team name of Survival of the Thickest. It would be
Yes,
remiss of me not to mention it because it is so iconic.
yes.
Survival of the Thickest. And also I was looking at your merch, which by the way, please check out Sammi Chaos's merch because it's also so fierce. That pink skull. I ordered one because my water
Yes,
bottle has a lot of like skulls and stuff.
yes.
So it's like the pink skull is perfect. So please everyone check out Sammi Chaos's merch. You will be so enthralled and happy. But
Mhm.
I love the merch because it says it's the survival of the thickest, and on the back it's the butt stuff and pain.
Oh,
Yes,
so good.
I was
That
like,
is such a
yes,
we need
good
those
title.
because you were like, that's us. Like, your butt stuff and I'm pain. And I was
yes.
like, that's us. Like, he's not.
No, literally though.
That's amazing.
That's so funny.
That was
It's a,
supposed to, that's our secondary team name for the not so family friendly shows, Butt Stuff
Mm,
yeah,
and Pain.
love that.
love. And you get right to the point, and I don't want to
That's it.
explain it. It explains
No.
itself.
If I have to explain it, it's not for you. So
Exactly. Period. 100%. Oh
yes.
my God.
That's
Do you have any other questions?
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like I like just blah 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 all night, but you go.
No. Is there like somebody, because you were talking about like wanting to like get better, learn from, is there somebody like you get in the ring with and you leave every time you're like, ah, I got better because of that? Like every single, like, is there somebody like
Hmm.
that consistently like pushes you in the ring?
Oh God. Oh my God. I mean, one of my coaches, Prince Ahmed, who was
Mm-hmm.
also at that show.
Was
Yes.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah, yes, he's the sweetest, scariest person I've ever met in my life. Um, he does all that like crazy submission stuff, and when me and Brian get in the ring, we are larger people. So we're like, oh, are you going to modify anything? And he's like, no, you're going to do it. And we're like, okay. Like, he pushes us to do exactly what everybody else is doing. So he doesn't,
Wow.
yeah, he's like, you're not going to wrestle as like a bigger person today. You're wrestling as a wrestler. Like, you're going to
Mm.
do
Wow.
yeah, you're gonna do what Rey Mysterio is doing, and you're gonna like, do all this stuff. And I was like, okay. He was like, even if you think you can't do it, like, you're just gonna do it. And he doesn't give you like a second to like second guess yourself. He goes, go. That's all he said. Go, go, go. I'm like, oh my God, like,
Oh my
Don't think, just
God.
do. Don't think, just
exactly,
Oh,
do.
exactly. He said, stop thinking, don't think, just do it. I'm like, oh my God, okay.
oh God. Oh my God. I'd be so scared.
About 70% of the time, you get it.
And I don't want that 30%. We don't talk about
Listen,
our.
we don't talk about the 30%.
um, do you, because you have said too, like you can have like an intimidating presence. Is it, this is kind of like silly, but is it intimidating to be intimidating? Like, do you get like intimidated by it, or is it like a superpower where it's like you can tap in because you're like, I'm gonna walk in here and everyone's gonna be like, whoa. Or is it like kind of like a little bit
Yeah,
intimidating?
I guess it depends where I'm walking into. I think it's a lot of funny that a lot of people that I'm now super good friends with, they're like, "Oh my God, when we first met you, like we thought you were a bitch," because it's like I stand
It's
there
the
with a
story of my
resting bitch
life.
face.
This story
It's
of our lives.
like little do they know that like my resting bitch face is just social anxiety face, and I'm just
Yes.
I'm
I'm
just holding
afraid
on to
of
the
for
earth. Like,
I'm just holding on to the earth.
like,
So
like I'm just
I'm
trying
just
not to spin out of control. Like,
yeah, I
let's
am just
got
processing
it.
gravity and converting oxygen to carbon
Right.
dioxide.
That's
I'm
all we're
breathing on
doing.
manual, all right?
Right.
Like,
I'm reminding myself in through my nose, out through my
Out
mouth.
through my mouth.
No, but sometimes I love it because then it's like, I love when people are afraid to talk to me, but then they do talk to me and they're like, oh, like you're a cinnamon bun, like you're a
Aw.
fucking, like, so,
Yeah.
so that's a lot of fun for me.
I love that. Yeah, like the for some reason I almost said the proof is in the pudding, but it's not really that. It's like it's just like, the outsides like don't necessarily match the insides, but the insides are so
Right.
delightful.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
We're delightful.
Yeah, I love that.
that's amazing.
Anything else,
Yes.
Xavier?
Oh, you can
Because
keep going.
I feel like I really steamrolled
Girl,
you in the
I know
beginning.
you, fam. We're good.
I was just so excited.
We've been friends since
Um,
we were like 12. So,
Oh
like,
my God. I love that.
yeah,
yeah.
a bit since the flood. Um,
What?
since
Yo.
the flood. Wow. I just like I feel like I
What's the
had so
next
many
show? What's the next show you guys are going to?
Uh,
we're hoping to go. I was hoping to go to the July 19th at
19th.
the Mecca, right? It's the 19th.
It's
Yes.
respect. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
but my sister is having a baby, and that
No.
is
Oh.
yeah, damn. That is her due date. So I'm supposed to be there to like because she has another child, so I'm supposed to take the other child elsewhere. Like
Right.
there's roles. But I was like, hopefully I can be there for that show though, because
Oh.
it's so I just also love the Mecca. Like I just the
Yeah, we're
community
having a
there
great
is
time.
so I just love going there because everyone is so fun and so
Oh
nice
yeah.
and like just the coolest people. Every time I go there, I'm like, I just met the coolest people I've ever met in my life. Like I don't know like how that happened,
Yeah.
but
And the crowd is so funny. I don't know what it is.
so
Oh
Like
yeah.
funny.
maybe it's just because like we also grew up around like and these are our people, but like they're so funny. Like
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
no,
yeah, love to but I'm also hoping to go to like more New York shows too because like we live so close like to New York.
yeah,
So
yeah.
but yeah, it's just like because he lives in Philly, so sometimes it's like me and my social anxiety. Sometimes I'm afraid to go by myself. Like I'm
Yes.
like usually I love to have like a little buddy,
Yeah.
especially because I'm new to wrestling. So I sometimes I'm there. I'm like,
what's
Where do I
happening?
put my
woo,
hand?
like yeah, like what do I do? Um, but yeah,
I
like the
get
Mecca,
that.
I just now I feel so comfortable there because everyone is just
Yeah.
the nicest people I've ever met. So,
Yes.
but yeah, hopefully we'll be there. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
I was like, I think I had like more questions, but I'm like, so just like, I was so happy to just like have this conversation that they kind of flew out of my brain. But
We're just happy to be here.
yeah,
Always. Um,
always.
that's that's great. What is like one thing about indie wrestling like specifically that like you love?
One thing about indie, I not everybody looks the same.
Mm,
I think that's
Mm.
I love that no one yeah, because you see a lot of that in, NXT. Um it not so much in AEW, but like kind of, especially with the women. It's like everyone looks exactly the same.
hmm.
And it's like you go to the indies and it's like, oh my God, what are these like characters? What are these gimmicks? Like,
Right.
holy shit. Like, oh my God. Like it yeah, it's like who am I wrestling? Oh my God, it's a demon today. Tomorrow's an angel, it's a princess. Like
Yeah.
I love
the
Taz used to describe like ECW as the land of misfit toys. I feel like it's just
yes,
kind of like taking that philosophy and just applying it everywhere, you know?
everywhere. That's the Mecca.
It's so true. And it is true because I guess and I've never noticed that before you said that, so thank you for my education. But
Hmm.
I feel like in like like WWE women's division now, like or even in the 90s when we're watching like Attitude Era, a lot of them like are just like especially the wrestling nowadays, a lot of just names. It's a lot of like
Yeah,
this is my name, this is what I do. And like yeah, there are a lot of like women are really exploring gimmicks like in the indies I feel and I
yeah,
love that because also like sometimes I do just love a gimmick like I love when people just lean into a character
Oh, for
and
the
it
hmm.
bit?
influences yes
Yeah,
like
do
just
it for the
commit to
bit.
the
Yeah,
bit and I love that
yeah.
and I've never how crazy I really have not noticed that before that's such a good point.
Yeah, yeah, I think there's a lot more freedom to just explore, anything that you want to do, anything you want to create, what entrance, you want to do today as opposed to tomorrow. Like tomorrow I'll wear pink, I guess. Like
Hmm, hmm.
it's like a whole thing and no one can tell me anything because I'm still Sammi Chaos. So it's,
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Do you
and
think
I oh go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, do you think like will like intergender wrestling will get to like a point where it has kind of like a larger platform? Because I like people have their thoughts about
yeah.
it. Um, but at the end of the day, it's all a show. So like, do you feel like you will ever get to that point? Would you like it to get to that point? But just kind of your thoughts on that, just because I know you love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always going to be a stigma about it,
Hmm.
for till the end of time. But I would love to see it grow. I love when I see glimpses of it like on a Raw where it's like Rhea Ripley and like whoever the
Hmm.
hell and they'll give us teases of it and it's like every once in a while I'm like, "Come on, like
Just give
oh
it
my
to
Hmm.
us.
God."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, I just
yeah.
want to see Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. Well, like, come
Who do
on, just
Yeah.
one time. Like
Oh,
One
because
time.
she would have and she is also like outspoken about like she wants to wrestle the dudes. Like she's
yes,
like she
yeah.
also wants to get in there and like beat up, like
Yeah,
get
she's
like
ready.
No, oh, she absolutely. And like her husband like talked about like in an interview or whatever, where she put him in like a chokehold or whatever, and he was like, it was the worst chokehold like I've ever been in. Like, and that woman
Yes.
was not gonna give up. Like, it's amazing. So,
Yeah.
but I know I would love to see. I just think like if we're putting on a show, like we're putting on a show, like
Right.
like I
Go all
think
out. What are you
right.
doing?
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
I
that's
think,
also the beautiful part about the indies too, is because we can do all that stuff.
mm,
So,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And I think like because you had said that it's not for everyone and you understand why, but you
Yeah,
enjoy it. And I think it's too, it's like you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Like, but if you
right.
are
exactly.
willing and able, like I think why not? But
Yeah, yeah. I'm not forcing anyone to do it or watch it. So, like,
Right.
so might as well. My God, I love that.
yes.
Wow.
Right, cool. So what do you have coming up? Because I know we talked about you're booked and busy. What do you got? What's on
Oh
the
my
agenda?
goodness. What day is it?
It is the 17th of June.
Oh my
Such a
God.
blur.
What year? No.
Don't tell me what year it is. It'll make me spiral.
Yeah, please. This weekend, the 21st, I have Jobber Slam Battle Club in Brooklyn. And then the Pride show for Battle Club is the very next day, the 22nd. So, yeah,
Very
it's
Very
gonna
nice.
be
exciting.
gonna be a whirlwind of a weekend.
Love
So
that. That's
awesome.
I will definitely be glued to the I'm going camping, so I won't be able to like attend, but I'm definitely gonna be glued to
Okay.
figuring it out. Oh yeah,
Evil.
I know. I like to like fuck off and not be near people.
He's
Like
yeah,
I really do. I really
he
love to
really
just be like
do.
Yeah,
He loves to
um
just go go dark.
listen, that's how I'm gonna start explaining my extracurriculars. I just like to fuck off. Okay. Please.
By
amazing.
the way.
By the
Oh
No,
my
way.
but
God.
but before I wrap this up, thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation, and
Thank you for
hopefully
having me.
now that like we know you're local, we'll take this on the road, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But all right, guys, thank you so much for listening to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast After Dark. For Kelsey and Sammy Chaos, I am Xavier, and we
Yes.
will catch you on the next one.
We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
there. Bye.